hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. And these shield boys are where...
Man, strong and masculine man. When you hear those words, you imagine a jacked warrior. Am I right? But how to create it? How to create the body of this warrior? There's different styles of training, diets. So the thing you should be asking yourself is, what is my goal? If it is a building muscle, you're on the right channel. I've been studying about our body since the 9th grade. In this video we'll talk about hormones and diet. And now let's talk about testosterone, the most important hormone for the man's health. The drastic change of testosterone levels throughout the time is caused by environment we live in, food we eat, habits we do. All of this can affect our testosterone levels. When building muscle, nice nutrition is not the only factor. The nice hormone levels are also important. You shouldn't stress, be negative and be gloom. All of this can cause cortisol levels to rise and dopamine levels to drop. That will lead to decrease in testosterone levels, but not every time that cortisol level increases is bad for you. Now let's talk about nutrition and post-workout routine. Protein. Everybody knows this word because it's highly related to fitness industry. But what it actually does? It is repairing your broken muscle tissues and creating new ones. But not only protein is important. The carbs are main source of our energy. Eating healthy carbs will give you fuel for your workout. It will fill your muscle with water.
That there are certain activities like cold water that create long-lasting arcs of dopamine. Those can be very useful for putting us into long-lasting motivational states. So these are not big peaks and troughs. These are the pain of the cold water followed by this long arc of dopamine. Wonderful. It's a kind of an antidepressant, positive motivator, natural stimulus. I always say if you don't have access to an ice bath, cold showers, yes, will work. If you have a shower that doesn't get cold enough, keep in mind that the original studies showing this dopamine increase had people get incorporated in my own life. Short-term working memory is off. I swear I can't.
Well, yerba mate, get that in you.
I can't think of any, I'm caffeinated. I can't think of any pharmacologic reason for it, but no excuses. So dopamine detox, I would have thought was not something real. It seemed kind of silly to me, actually. And I'll tell you why it seems silly and why it still seems silly, but why it may have some utility. But then Dr. Anna Lemke told me that it actually can be quite useful to take some time and space away from social media, certainly from any addictive drugs. That's the treatment for addiction, and restore those dopamine levels to baseline. Now, the way that dopamine detoxing was initially described in the Bay Area, where it seemed a lot of tech types were talking about it, was in terms of, I heard something like, oh, people aren't even looking at other people's faces. You know, they're really kind of living this like monkish lifestyle, like no food that they really enjoy, no anything. That to me seems kind of crazy.